All right, what's up? Welcome back. Video 2, episode 2, whatever you want to call it. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're in the part of the process. I put out a song. Let me back up. We're on this journey of making a record, right? So I've made 2 records. One was in studio. The second one was in this studio, and it was my first crack at making my own record. And then shortly after I put that one out, I felt like it was really, really impressed upon me to give up playing live. So I did that last July. And then like 2 weeks later, I started getting all these downloads in my brain for all these different songs. And they were all about Jesus. But like the term that I'm using for, it's gonna sound so silly to you because, well, maybe it's not. At first it didn't make any sense to me, but now that I'm like in it, I get it. The more that I'm in it, the more that I understand, which is I think kind of how it goes. Sometimes you kind of have to be willing to take a bet on yourself. And this whole thing is just a gigantic bet on myself. So it's called Gospel Blues Rock was like the first thought. Swamp Gospel was my next thought. So it's like this bluesy but swampy and gritty sound that I have come to love, and I love creating, and I love figuring out, and I love discovering it about myself. But also, I guess the vision for me has been in Civil War times when people's lives were kind of miserable and they were just singing to God in a field and they didn't have refinement. It was just like the songs of their souls. Like that's kind of my vision, I think, with guitars, like a lot of guitars. So I put out a song in November called Saved by the Blood. That was my first kind of crack at it. And I felt a lot of purpose and a lot of life from that track. So now I'm on to the second one, and it's called Who's Gonna Save My Soul? And this was probably one of the first motivations or first inspirations that I had on this like swamp gospel kick. So I'm through the part where like I wrote it, me and Josh Tobias wrote it. It's like a different kind of format than any other song I've ever written. I've produced it, and then I've overproduced it, and then I've produced some more stuff on it, and it's been over to my buddy Ron, and now we are to the point where I'm listening over and over and over and over again to see what I like and what I don't like. So this is what it sounds like. I hope you can hear this okay. This channel is not meant to be like a glamorous, pretty, perfect channel. Like it's more like this is me and my phone showing you the actual journey with no gimmicks. Here we go. And I'll say when I do this, like if we want like a back end of the process, I'm gonna open up an email too. And I always like to send notes, and Ron probably hates it, but it's the only way that I can make sure that my notes on who gonna save my soul. It's the only way that like my specific thoughts can come through is if I make notes with timestamps and be very kind of diligent and annoying about it. Like if you want to do this kind of project, like I feel like it takes you being willing to be very specific about what you want it to sound like, especially as a female producer and a female music creator, or just anybody in general. Like you just need to be very specific. So I guess that would be like a pointer if you're listening to this for pointers. Okay, so we're already, kicks are back to 1, 2, 3, 4. And intro should be 1, 1, and 3. All right, I'm just typing up some more of these notes. And this is the part where I feel like if he was gonna hate me, he'd hate me. But we have a very good working, you have to be very careful when you choose the people you work with. They have to be able to work with you without you feeling like you're being too much. Because for me, I needed to figure out who I could send this many edits to while knowing that I wasn't gonna be looked at as the problem. It's my music, it's my writing, it's my idea, it's my song. he gets that. I'm not prideful about it. It's just that like what I'm hearing is valid because I have a vision. So I've got like some notes, but that's part of the process, right? So I've just listened to it. I didn't take you through the whole like listening to the song. It took me probably 10 minutes to just listen to that song because I kept going back and like hearing different things or whatever. So I've got some leveling notes, I've got some EQ notes, I've got some timestamp notes, and we'll just let him work his way through these notes and see what draft he gives me next. So stay tuned for that.